1932, Australia witnessed one of the most unusual events in its history, now famously known as the Emu War. Unlike any traditional conflict, this war wasn't fought between nations or even people, but rather between humans and a large population of flightless birds, emus. The story begins in Western Australia, where farmers faced an unexpected challenge that would soon become legendary. Let's dive into the origins of this peculiar battle and see how it all unfolded. Emu War took place in the vast, open farmlands of Western Australia. After World War I, many veterans were given land to farm, hoping to start new lives. However, the harsh environment and unpredictable weather made farming difficult. In 1932, things took a turn for the worse when thousands of emus migrated into the region, searching for food and water. The stage was set for a confrontation that no one could have predicted. Every year, emus migrate across Australia in search of better conditions. In 1932, an estimated 20,000 emus descended upon the wheat-growing regions. These large, flightless birds moved in flocks, trampling crops and damaging fences. For the farmers, this migration was disastrous. Their livelihoods were at stake, and they quickly realized that the emus were not just a nuisance, they were a serious threat to their survival. Desperate for a solution, the farmers turned to the government for assistance. They needed help to protect their crops from the relentless emu invasion. The government listened and decided to take action. What followed was a military response unlike any other, involving soldiers, machine guns, and a plan to drive the emus away. The stage was set for a most unusual campaign. November 1932, the Australian government sent a small military force to Western Australia. Led by Major G.P.W. Meredith, the team was equipped with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Their mission: to reduce the emu population and protect the wheat fields. The soldiers were confident, but they were about to face a foe unlike any they had encountered before. Soldiers set out to find the emus, expecting an easy victory. However, the birds proved to be elusive and surprisingly fast. The first attempts to shoot the emus were largely unsuccessful. The birds scattered quickly, making it difficult for the soldiers to aim accurately. The emus' speed and unpredictable movements turned the operation into a frustrating game of cat and mouse. Despite their firepower, the soldiers found it nearly impossible to hit the emus in large numbers. The birds would split into small groups and run in all directions, making them difficult targets. Even when the soldiers managed to shoot at a flock, the emus' tough feathers and quick reflexes meant that many escaped unharmed. The military soon realized that this was not going to be an easy battle. As the days went by, the soldiers tried different tactics to outsmart the emus. They set up ambushes near water sources and even mounted machine guns on trucks to chase the birds. However, the rough terrain made it hard to drive, and the emus continued to evade capture. The frustration among the soldiers grew as their efforts seemed to have little effect on the emu population. Emus proved to be incredibly resilient. Their large size, strong legs, and ability to run at high speeds gave them a natural advantage. They could outrun vehicles and were surprisingly difficult to bring down, even with machine guns. The birds' instincts to scatter and regroup made coordinated attacks almost impossible. The emus were winning the war, much to everyone's surprise. News of the Emu War quickly spread across Australia and beyond. The public was both amused and bewildered by the idea of soldiers fighting birds. Newspapers reported on the campaign, often with a humorous tone. The story became a national curiosity, and people began to question the effectiveness of the military's efforts. The Emu War was turning into a spectacle. Emu War was not only ineffective but also expensive. The government spent money on ammunition, transport, and manpower, yet the results were disappointing. Only a small number of emus were killed, while the majority continued to roam the farmlands. The cost of the campaign raised questions about the use of military resources for such an unusual problem. After several weeks of unsuccessful attempts, the military decided to withdraw. The Emu War was officially declared over in December 1932. The emus had survived, and the farmers were left to find other ways to protect their crops. The soldiers returned home, perhaps a little embarrassed, but with a story that would live on in Australian history. With the military gone, farmers had to come up with their own solutions. Some built stronger fences, while others tried to scare the emus away using noise and other deterrents. The emu problem didn't disappear overnight, but the farmers' resilience and creativity helped them adapt. The Emu War became a lesson in perseverance and the unpredictability of nature. Emus emerged from the conflict largely unscathed. Their population remained strong, and they continued to roam the Australian outback. The birds became symbols of resilience and adaptability, admired for their ability to survive against the odds. The Emu War, while a failure for the military, was a victory for the emus. Emu War left a lasting mark on Australian culture. It became a popular topic for jokes, stories, and even songs. The idea of a nation's military being outsmarted by birds captured the public's imagination. Today, the Emu War is remembered as one of the most unusual chapters in Australia's history, often cited as an example of the unexpected challenges that nature can present. Emus are native to Australia and are the country's largest bird. They are known for their speed, strength, and ability to survive in harsh conditions. In 1932, their migration patterns brought them into direct conflict with farmers. The Emu War highlighted just how challenging it can be to manage wildlife in a vast and unpredictable land. Major G.P.W. Meredith led the military operation during the Emu War. He was tasked with organizing the campaign and making tactical decisions. Despite his experience, Meredith quickly realized that fighting emus was nothing like traditional warfare. His leadership became a key part of the story, and he is often remembered for his candid reports on the difficulties faced by his team. Use of machine guns in the Australian outback was a striking image. Soldiers tried to adapt their weapons to the unique challenge of fast-moving birds. However, the rough terrain and the emu's agility made the guns less effective than expected. This scene became one of the most memorable aspects of the Emu War, highlighting the mismatch between military technology and natural obstacles. Emus have several natural defenses that help them survive the military campaign. Their strong legs allow them to run at speeds up to 50 km/h, and their feathers can deflect some bullets. These adaptations made them surprisingly tough opponents. The Emu War showcased the remarkable abilities of these birds and their capacity to adapt to threats. Failure of the Emu War led to changes in how the government approached similar problems. Military involvement in wildlife management was reconsidered, and new strategies were developed for dealing with pest animals. The Emu War became a case study in the importance of appropriate responses to environmental challenges. Media coverage played a big part in shaping public perception of the Emu War. Newspapers and radio reports often focused on the humorous aspects of the campaign, making it a topic of national conversation. The story was picked up internationally, adding to Australia's reputation for quirky and unexpected events. Emu War taught important lessons about the limits of technology and the unpredictability of nature. It showed that not all problems can be solved with force and that understanding the environment is crucial. The story remains a reminder of the need for creative and flexible solutions when dealing with wildlife. Today, emus are celebrated as a unique part of Australia's wildlife. They appear on the country's coat of arms and are a symbol of resilience. The Emu War has only added to their legendary status, making them a beloved and iconic animal in Australian culture. Emu invasion came at a time when farmers were already struggling with falling wheat prices and economic hardship. The destruction of crops by emus made a difficult situation even worse. The Emu War was not just about birds, it was also a story of economic struggle and the challenges faced by rural communities. Many of the farmers affected by the emu invasion were World War I veterans. They had been given land as part of a government scheme to help them start new lives. The Emu War added to the difficulties they faced, testing their resilience and determination in the face of unexpected adversity. The government's decision to send the military was controversial. Some saw it as a necessary step, while others thought it was an overreaction. The Emu War sparked debates about the best ways to support farmers and manage wildlife, discussions that continue in Australia to this day. Emus migrate seasonally in search of food and water. Their movements are influenced by rainfall and the availability of resources. In 1932, drought conditions pushed them into farmland, leading to the events of the Emu War. Understanding these patterns is key to managing future conflicts. Emus play an important role in Australia's ecosystem. They help disperse seeds and maintain the balance of plant life. While their large numbers can cause problems for farmers, they are also a vital part of the natural environment. The Emu War highlighted the challenges of balancing agriculture and wildlife. The Emu War attracted attention from around the world. International newspapers reported on the unusual conflict, often with a sense of disbelief. The story became a symbol of Australia's unique challenges and sense of humor, adding to the country's global reputation for quirky history. Estimates suggest that around 20,000 emus were involved in the 1932 invasion. Despite the military's efforts, only about 1,000 were killed. The sheer number of birds made it nearly impossible to control the population with force alone, highlighting the scale of the challenge faced by the farmers. After the Emu War, farmers and scientists explored other ways to manage the emu population. Fencing, culling, and habitat management became common strategies. These approaches proved more effective in the long run, showing the importance of adapting to local conditions and learning from past mistakes. The Emu War has inspired books, documentaries, and even video games. Its story is retold in classrooms and on social media, often with a humorous twist. The event has become a part of Australia's national identity, celebrated for its uniqueness and the lessons it offers. The Emu War is often compared to other unusual conflicts in history. Its blend of humor, frustration, and unexpected outcomes makes it stand out. While most wars are remembered for their tragedy, the Emu War is recalled for its absurdity and the resilience of both sides. Thanks to the Emu War, emus are now seen as clever and tough survivors. Their ability to outwit the military has become legendary, and they are often used as symbols of persistence. The bird's reputation has only grown since 1932, making them a beloved part of Australia's wildlife. The Emu War taught the military valuable lessons about adapting tactics to local conditions. It showed that traditional methods don't always work in unique environments. The experience influenced future military planning and highlighted the importance of flexibility and innovation. Humor played a big part in how the Emu War was remembered. Australians used jokes and satire to cope with the embarrassment and frustration of the failed campaign. The event became a source of national amusement, helping people find lightness in a difficult situation. Modern wildlife management in Australia uses a combination of science, technology, and community involvement. Lessons from the Emu War have shaped current policies, emphasizing prevention and coexistence. Today, emus are protected, and efforts focus on balancing their needs with those of farmers. The Emu War stands out as a unique episode in world history. It's a reminder that not all battles are fought between people and that nature can be a formidable opponent. The story continues to fascinate historians and the public alike, offering insights into human ingenuity and humility. Both the emus and the people involved in the Emu War had to adapt to changing circumstances. The birds used their natural abilities to survive, while farmers and soldiers learned to adjust their strategies. The story is a testament to the power of adaptation in the face of adversity. Emus are an integral part of Australia's environment. Their movements and behaviors influence the landscape, and their survival is closely linked to the health of the ecosystem. The Emu War highlighted the complex relationship between humans and the natural world. The Emu War is retold in classrooms, museums, and around campfires. Each retelling adds new details and interpretations, keeping the story alive for new generations. It's a tale that blends history, humor, and the unpredictable power of nature. At its core, the Emu War is a story about humility and respect for nature. It reminds us that even with all our technology and planning, we are sometimes outmatched by the natural world. The event encourages us to approach challenges with open minds and a willingness to learn. The emus' victory in the Emu War has made them symbols of persistence and determination. Their story inspires people to keep going, even when the odds seem impossible. The Emu War is a celebration of resilience, both human and animal. Each year, the Emu War is remembered in articles, documentaries, and even local festivals. It's a chance to reflect on the past and appreciate the unique stories that shape our world. The Emu War stands as a reminder that history is full of surprises. Emu War of 1932 remains one of the most fascinating and unusual events in Australian history. It teaches us about the importance of adaptability, the limits of force, and the need to respect nature. As we face new challenges in the modern world, the story of the Emu War reminds us to approach problems with creativity, humility, and a sense of humor.